Welcome in, everybody. We're diving deep today into online shopping safety, and with the holidays coming up, I'm sure a lot of us will be doing some shopping online.
Definitely. And, everyone loves a good deal.
For sure.
But all those deals
Oh, yeah.
also bring out the scammers.
That's right. They see us coming a mile away.
They do.
Ready to spend some money.
Exactly.
So to help everyone stay safe, we're going to be looking at some expert advice from the Cyber After program over on Capital Radio from back in November.
Yeah, November 18th to be exact.
And I think what was really interesting about this episode is they emphasized how Black Friday promotions, they're not just a one-day thing anymore, right?
No, they've really stretched out the whole Black Friday season.
Yeah, it's like Black Friday month at this point.
It is.
So the window for these scams?
Oh, it's huge.
It's way bigger.
Than it used to be.
Definitely. Before we get into their specific tips, I think it's good to look at a real-world example and just see, like, how high the stakes can be.
Absolutely. Back in April 2021,
Okay.
the Spanish company Funhouse.
Funhouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were fined 6.5 million euros for a data breach.
Wow.
And it affected 13 million users.
13 million.
Yeah.
That's a lot of personal information.
Yeah, that's a huge number of people.
So what happened? Like, how did this breach even happen?
Well, the discussion on Cyber After pointed out some major security failings on the part of Funhouse.
Okay.
So, for example, their password policies were really weak.
Like password 123 week?
Exactly like that.
Oh, gosh.
And their perimeter security was also insufficient.
Perimeter security, what is that exactly?
Basically, it's like the digital walls and gates that are supposed to protect their systems.
Oh, so it's like having a flimsy lock on your front door.
Pretty much.
Anyone can just walk right in.
Exactly. And to make things worse, they didn't really have good employee training.
Ah, so even if you have the best tech, the human element can still mess things up.
That's right. Human error is a big factor in cybersecurity.
And that brings us to something that's really changing the game, the rise of AI.
AI is a double-edged sword.
You know, we hear about it everywhere, but how is it actually affecting these scams?
Well, it's driving a kind of arms race between the attackers and the defenders.
Okay.
And right now, the attackers are really upping their game.
So, like, how is AI making scams more sophisticated?
Imagine this. You're looking for a great deal on airline tickets.
Okay.
And you find this website offering unbelievably low prices.
Tempting.
Right. But that website could be completely generated by AI.
Whoa, so it could look totally real?
Exactly. It would look and feel just like a legitimate airline's website.
So even someone who's pretty tech savvy could fall for this?
Absolutely. And the experts on Cyber After, they actually talked about this exact scenario as a growing trend.
So basically, we can't just rely on being cautious anymore.
Right.
These threats, they're getting more complex.
Definitely.
We have to up our game, too.
We do.
So let's get into some specific tips from Cyber After about how to shop safely online.
Absolutely.
Even in this age of AI scams.
First and foremost, you have to verify website authenticity.
Okay, but how can you really be sure a website is legit? I mean, I know to look for the HTTPS and the padlock icon, but are those really enough anymore?
Well, they're a good starting point, but scammers can fake those too these days.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So you really got to go a step further.
Okay, like what?
So let's say you're on a website and you see the HTTPS and the padlock. You're not done yet.
Okay.
Look closely at the actual URL.
The URL, okay.
Are there any misspellings?
Good point.
Or like unusual domain names?
Oh, yeah.
Anything look a little off?
Okay.
Those are red flags.
Gotcha. So it's like those fake designer bags. You have to really scrutinize them to spot the counterfeit?
Exactly. You can't just glance at it and assume it's real.
Right. So we can't just trust those security indicators blindly.
You got it.
We have to do our own detective work.
Exactly. And here's another layer of verification. Look beyond the product reviews and check the reviews for the online store itself.
That's a good idea.
Those reviews can tell you a lot about the site's reputation.
So it's like checking the restaurant's reviews before you even look at the menu.
Exactly.
You want to make sure the place is legit
Exactly.
before you even think about ordering.
Now let's talk about how you pay.
Okay, payment methods. This is important. What should people be aware of when they're checking out online? Credit cards, debit cards, those virtual cards I've heard about.
You've hit on some key points when it comes to online shopping. Credit cards generally offer better fraud protection than debit cards.
Okay, that makes sense.
So if there's a fraudulent transaction, your liability is usually lower with a credit card.
Okay, good to know. What about virtual cards, though? Are those really as secure as they sound?
Virtual cards are a great way to add another layer of security.
Okay.
They basically create a unique temporary card number for each transaction.
Oh, wow.
So even if that virtual card number gets compromised, your actual credit card info is still safe.
So it's like using a disposable mask. You use it once and then you toss it.
Exactly, minimizes the risk.
So even if a scammer got that virtual card number, they couldn't really do much damage.
Right, because it's already expired.
That's pretty clever.
And here's another essential tip that applies to all your online accounts, not just shopping-enabled two-factor authentication.
Two-factor authentication, we hear about it all the time, but for those who aren't familiar, can you break down what it is and why it's so important?
Sure. Two-factor authentication basically adds an extra layer of security by requiring you to confirm your identity
Okay.
through a separate device,
Okay.
like your smartphone.
Got it.
So even if someone steals your password, they can't get into your account without that second form of verification.
So it's like we're having two locks on your door instead of just one.
Exactly. It makes it much harder to break in.
And I guess another simple but effective tip is setting spending limits
Absolutely.
on those cards you use for online shopping.
Yeah, that way, even if the worst happens, the damage is limited.
Right, damage control.
Exactly.
Okay, so beyond those specific steps, what about security software? There's so many options out there, antivirus, firewalls, VPNs. Where do we even begin?
Investing in a comprehensive security suite like Panda is a great place to start.
Okay, but what does a security suite like that actually do? What are the key components?
Well, first you have a firewall, which blocks unauthorized access to your computer.
So like a digital bouncer?
Exactly, keeping out the riffraff.
I like it.
Then you have real-time threat detection,
Okay.
which is constantly scanning for and neutralizing malware like viruses and spyware.
So it's like having a 24/7 security guard patrolling your computer.
Exactly, and a good security suite will also include a VPN.
VPNs, those are becoming really popular. Why are they so important, especially for online shopping?
VPNs encrypt your internet connection,
Okay.
creating a secure tunnel for your data.
Oh, I see.
So it's much harder for hackers to intercept your sensitive information, especially when you're using public Wi-Fi.
So even if I'm using the Wi-Fi at a coffee shop, a VPN can help protect my credit card info. That's good to know.
It's all about protecting your privacy.
Now, with all this talk about tech and tools, we can't forget about the importance of common sense.
Oh, absolutely. Common sense is crucial.
All the technology in the world won't help if we're clicking on every suspicious link or falling for those too-good-to-be-true offers.
Exactly. You have to be smart about it.
So what does common sense look like when we're shopping online? What are some red flags to watch out for?
Well, remember that old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah, that's a classic for a reason.
Don't let the excitement of a sale cloud your judgment.
It's easy to get caught up in the frenzy, especially during a big sale.
It is, so take a moment to step back and think critically.
Okay, so pause before you click buy now.
Exactly. Ask yourself, does this deal seem realistic? Have I ever heard of this website before?
Good questions.
Are there any reviews or information about this company online?
Right, do your research.
And if something feels off, trust your gut.
Yeah, don't ignore those red flags.
It's better to miss out on a deal than to become a victim of a scam.
That's a good point. And this leads to something that experts on Cyber After really emphasize the importance of cybersecurity awareness.
Definitely.
It's not just about protecting ourselves. It's about creating a safer online environment for everyone.
Right. And it's interesting because while many people are becoming more aware of these risks, there's always room for improvement.
Always.
Knowledge is power. And the more we understand about these threats and how to protect ourselves, the better off we'll all be.
Yeah, it's like that old saying, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link.
Right?
So if we all up our cybersecurity game, it makes the whole online world a safer place.
Exactly. And it's a great idea to share what we learn with our friends and family, especially those who might not be as tech savvy.
Yeah, spread the knowledge.
Be cybersecurity ambassadors.
I love that, cybersecurity ambassadors.
Right.
So to wrap things up, let's go back to those expert tips from Cyber After.
Sure.
We've covered a lot of ground verifying websites, secure payment methods, two-factor authentication security suites. Are there any other key takeaways we should hit on?
Yeah, there are a couple more gems from that Cyber After discussion that are worth highlighting.
Okay, lay them on me.
One is the idea of being really mindful about the information you share online.
Okay, so what do you mean by that?
Think about all those forms you fill out online.
Uh-huh.
The surveys you take, the social media posts you share.
Right.
All those bits of information, they can be valuable to cybercriminals.
How so?
Well, they can use that info to craft really targeted phishing attacks.
Okay.
Or even try to steal your identity.
So it's not just about being careful on shopping websites. It's about our whole digital footprint.
Exactly. The more we put out there, the more we're potentially exposing ourselves to risk.
It's like being mindful of what you say in public, You don't want to give away too much personal information to strangers.
Precisely. And here's another tip that might seem basic, but it's super important. Keep your software up to date.
Oh, yeah. That's one of those things everyone knows they should do, but it's easy to forget.
It is. But those software updates often include security patches that fix vulnerabilities that cybercriminals could exploit.
So it's like reinforcing the walls of your digital fortress.
Exactly. Those update notifications, don't ignore them.
Got it. So we've talked about being careful about what we share online and keeping our software updated. Any other parting words of wisdom for our listeners?
Yes, I think it's crucial to remember that cybersecurity isn't a one-time fix. It's an ongoing process.
Right, so we can't just set it and forget it.
Definitely not. The threat landscape is constantly evolving.
Always changing.
And cybercriminals are always coming up with new tricks.
So how do we keep up?
Well, there are a lot of great resources out there that provide really good information and guidance.
Like what?
The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, or CISA, is a great one.
Okay, so CISA, that's a good place to start.
They have a ton of info for individuals and businesses on how to protect themselves online.
So CISA is like our cybersecurity headquarters, the go-to source for reliable info.
And don't underestimate the power of just staying curious.
Curious, okay?
Read articles, listen to podcasts like this one, follow cybersecurity experts on social media.
Right. Stay informed.
The more you learn, the more empowered you'll be to navigate the digital world safely.
It's like anything else in life. The more you know, the better prepared you are.
Right.
Well, I think we've covered a lot today. Hopefully, our listeners are feeling more confident about tackling the holiday shopping season and online shopping in general.
I hope so.
And remember, online shopping should be enjoyable, not stressful.
It should be fun.
Right.
And if you take these steps to protect yourself, you can definitely shop with peace of mind.
Absolutely. And before we go, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Oh, a cliffhanger. I'm intrigued.
Well, as we move into the future, the role of AI in cybersecurity is only going to get bigger.
It's true.
On both sides, AI can be used to create more sophisticated scams, but it can also help us bolster our defenses.
It's like a powerful tool that can be used for good or evil.
Exactly, and as we become more and more reliant on AI in our daily lives,
Yeah, which we definitely are.
it's crucial to understand the potential risks and benefits
For sure.
and advocate for its ethical and responsible development.
Absolutely. It's a rapidly evolving landscape, and we all need to be part of the conversation.
Well said. So as you head out to snack those amazing deals, remember, the best gift you can give yourself is the gift of knowledge.
Hear, hear.
Stay informed, stay vigilant, and stay safe out there. Yeah, it really feels like we're entering this whole new digital frontier,
We are.
and we need to be prepared.
We do. It's all about awareness, knowledge, and a good dose of skepticism.
You got it. And it's a journey we're all taking together,
Yeah.
We need to share what we learn, support each other, and work together to create a safer online experience for everything.
Well said. It's not just about individual responsibility. It's about fostering a culture of cybersecurity.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive, let me just reiterate that key message for our listeners: knowledge is power.
And with great power
Oh, here we go.
comes great responsibility.
So true. The more you know about cybersecurity and how it's changing, the better you'll be at protecting yourself, your family, and all your valuable data.
That's right. And remember, online shopping should be convenient and fun, but most importantly, safe.
Absolutely. So go out there and shop with confidence, armed with all the knowledge and insights you've gained today. Happy shopping, everyone. 2TRD.